Hello nature lovers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna give life back to my avocado tree. Believe it or not, this is an avocado tree which I regrettably neglected for so long. Now it's gonna get the attention that it deserves. And by that I don't mean that I'm gonna do some rocket science or something. By that what I mean is I'm gonna remove this old soil which hasn't been changed for the past 3 years. I'm gonna check out the root system, if necessary cut the tips of some roots and definitely cut the tips of these branches right here. And also I'm gonna put it in a new container with fresh new soil. And unlike all this time that I've done, this winter I'm gonna keep it indoors. And when spring comes, I'm gonna take it outside in a spot on my balcony where it doesn't get direct sunlight, but it definitely gets a lot of indirect bright light. Now, before we continue with the rest of the video, there's a little story that I wanted to share with you. A little over 3 years ago, I got a little bit obsessed with growing avocado trees at home. So, believe it or not, I started to grow 38 avocado trees via seeds, via water propagation, just like this. And imagine 38 jars spread around my apartment. Anyways, eventually they all grew roots and I had to put them into soil, right? However, I needed to free some space for my other plants, so a lot of them I gave it away. A few of them I put them outside my apartment at the hallway of the whole building. A few of them, a neighbor of mine got them. A few of them I throw them away. Sorry, but hey, I needed space. I kept only this because this is the first ever avocado tree that I started to grow. It's not only a plant that I love actually, but it also has some sentimental value because it's the first ever tree that I'm growing. Okay, so I have everything that I need. I have the multi-purpose compost soil peat-free, which basically means that I'm gonna need to water this plant slightly more often than regularly. However, you don't need to mind this detail because if you use a moisture meter, like I always do, you don't need to worry about if the soil has peat or not. I have a couple of tools, I have gloves if I'm gonna need them. Of course, I have the new container, but I also have a bucket that I'm gonna throw or put this old soil so I don't make a huge mess around. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so apparently this is all I got left. As you can see, there's nothing I can do about the root system. Actually, I'm hoping it will survive, even though I'm confident it will. This container right here, as you can see, it's a little big for this root system. However, I'm gonna fill it like almost a little bit above halfway with soil, and then I'm gonna plant this leftover avocado tree. Okay, so let me just grab the soil right away. Yep. Okay. Now I'm trying not to make a big mess here. A tiny hole in the middle right here. And what's left of this avocado tree. Now I can feel the soil that is already too wet, so I'm not gonna have to water this. Also in summer, I don't let it direct sunlight because it's gonna burn the leaves. So you have to find that sweet spot, bright indirect light, and also in winter, put it inside. It's better like that because you can see what happened to this, right? Anyway, so I see that it needs a little bit more of soil. Now I'm gonna cut a little bit the tips of these branches. Let me grab my cutting tool. So, if necessary, later on spring, I'm gonna cut other branches if they're gonna come out. Now, the other thing before I wrap up this video that I wanted to mention about avocados is the way you propagate them. I already mentioned the water propagation via seed, but there's also another way to propagate them, and that is quite simply, you take the seed, you put it directly into soil, just like this little fella right here, waiting to grow. So this is basically it for today's video. Wish me luck with this plant, and I'll see you in my next video. If you liked it, you know what to do, and also stay natural.